Well, here we are. The end. The end of another season for my San Francisco 49ers. And, of course, just like in all the years that I've covered the 49ers here on Very Cold Lasagna, it ends in disappointment. It ends in another failure to, quote-unquote, finish the story for 6. But it ends much earlier than expected as the Niners finished their season heading off to Cancun. But they had one more game to play. In Week 18 to take on Arizona against the Cardinals. And was basically an exhibition for both teams as they try and instill some confidence, instill some hope for both squads going into what's going to be an early offseason for both teams, but especially for my 49ers. So, yeah, they've had an early offseason in like 4+ years. The first time since 2020, since they had a very early offseason. So, yeah, this is basically a preseason-like game for both teams. But certainly for my 49ers, they're certainly going to try to instill hope in a different way, in my opinion, if you know what I mean, when I talked about the lead up to this game. But anyway, yeah, when you look at this team, how they played in this game, it just felt like, all those problems that have been surrounding this team, that have been leading to all these losses all year long. It's just like all those problems were just like crumbling up. They were just like sizing up in a big giant ball up on a hill. And sure, they started off all right in the first half, but then slowly but surely it started rolling down the hill, and then boom, the whatever left of the San Francisco 49ers, they got squished. They got crushed by that big giant ball of the problems, whether it was the special teams unit, the bad defense, injury mania running wild again, the bad play calling, the bad coaching, whatnot. All of those problems, like the litany of problems with this team that have caught up to them all year long, it crushed them in this game. Pretty emblematic, pretty much a way to end this season for San Francisco. Like, look, for example, the special teams unit. The special teams unit, once again, sucked ass. Like, what a way for the special teams unit to end off their year with a bang. Jake Moody, for example, he makes a field goal. What a miracle to get the first points for the 49ers. But then on his next attempt, he misses the field goal. Another very makeable field goal on what was basically almost the same amount of yards that was on his first attempt. He misses this one wide left. So, yeah, the kicker that Kyle Shanahan still believes. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, pal. And then I believe it's in the first quarter that the punt team, they got goofed by Arizona's punt team unit with the fake punt. Yeah, they certainly weren't ready for that one, pal. And Ryan Schneider, again, does he really have this team ready for this kind of situations? Certainly, I don't think so. So, I don't know, man. Like, when you look at certain situations with this team, it's just like, do they look ready to play? Do they look ready to go? I don't know. But certainly what you can't prepare for is, the injury god saying, oh, you want to leave this game unscathed, even in a useless game like this one? Well, that doesn't work for me, brother. But unfortunately, in all seriousness, though, the injuries, once again, ran wild in this one, which, I don't know, man. This has always happened to the 49ers. But even in, whether it's the 49ers or in to other teams around the league, even in meaningless games, it sucks, man. It just really, really sucks. But, the rapid amount of injuries that happen in this game, it just hurts, man. It just really hurts. Like, Isaac Grendo, he got taken out on the very first series of the game. Kyle Shanahan said it was an MCL-related injury. He got carted off. Hopefully, it's not anything too serious. So, hopefully, he'll be okay going into the offseason. Both starting safeties, Malik Mustafa and Talanoa Hufanga. Mustafa got taken out with a knee injury. Talanoa Hufanga got concussed. They didn't play in the second half at all. Colin McKivitz, the right tackle, for as much as I bashed him, it still sucked to see him get carted off the field in the fourth quarter. So hopefully he'll be okay. So, yeah, when you look at the bad with the 49ers in this one, yeah, it's just, a symbol of, how this season went downhill slowly but surely for this team. But I don't want to try to be too negative on this team because there were a few positives. There were a few positives from what was a pretty bad way to go out for this team. Like Ricky Pearsall, he's been catching on. He's been catching on in the final month of the season. He got his third touchdown of the year. He's been getting more targets, whether it's from Brock Purdy or from Josh Dobbs. So very nice way to end the year for Ricky Pearsall. Jen Hale did talk about the sideline reporter for this game. She talked about one point how Pearsall was going to stay in the Bay Area during the offseason for at least most of it to catch up on lost work from last offseason. So that's good news for Pearsall. And I really appreciate that a lot from him. And then, of course, you have the most entertaining thing that happened in this game for both teams because, again, this was an exhibition. There wasn't really a lot that happened, nor we learned from this in this game. And I do think that Triple Nose, a.k.a. Triple H, hey, why not get these guys on the Raw premiere on Netflix tonight? Huh, pal? Fly them in last minute. Pay their fines. The NFL's going to dish out on them. Hey, why not get Juwan Jennings and Sean Murphy Bunting? Hey, they put out some tape for you. Get him, book this at the very last moment. Get him in the ring. Have them settle the differences in the Intuit Dome. Book them in a 5-minute match. Let them settle out the differences, huh, pal? Juwan Jennings versus Sean Murphy Bunting in a cage. Or, no disqualification, huh, pal? That'd be something. No, I'm just playing. Josh Dobbs and the rest of the team, hey, they understood the memo too. In the second half, they saved the course of hashtag lose them all. Lose them all. There was turnovers galore. They gave up a fourth down. They let Kyler Murray in the Cardinals offense reach the 40 mark, and they even ended the game 47. Cardinals scored 47 on the 49ers. And what did we get in the end? We came out as a true winner. Gained the 11th overall pick in the draft. Sure, it would have been nice to get a top 10 pick, the number 10th overall pick, or maybe even number 9, but unfortunately, other teams suck even more. They suck even more than us, but it is what it is. And hopefully, it'll help Kyle Shanahan understand the importance of getting an offensive lineman in this draft. Offensive lineman, not defensive lineman. Offensive lineman was the center or right tackle. Meanwhile, for Arizona, looking at it from their side of things, again, we also didn't learn too much about them either, but they did have some nice performances from on their side of the ball, like Sean Murphy Bunting. He had a nice toe tap interception on Josh Dobbs in the first quarter, which led to Kyler Murray and Greg Dortch turning it into a touchdown a couple plays later. And that was before Murphy Bunting got ejected with Juwan Jennings. Again, get him on Netflix, Triple H. Speaking of Dortch and Kyler Murray, they also had another touchdown connection in the third quarter. Dortch and Murray had a nice day to end their season. Trey McBride also had some nice plays in this one, including a knee to the face over on Jair Brow trying to make a hurdle before the 2-minute warning, and also had a touchdown before the first half ended. Along with Murphy Bunting's interception, the Cardinals defense forced 2 additional turnovers on the 49ers, one of which led to one more touchdown for Kyler Murray to Marvin Harrison Jr. And before Kyler Murray was sent to home for Clayton Tune or whoever the backup is for Arizona. But nonetheless, Kyler Murray's day was finished because, well, the Niners, again, understood the assignment of hashtag lose them all. Lose them all. So, yeah, like I said, overall, we didn't really learn anything new about our team in this exhibition regular season finale, but we did still learn that Nick Sorensen and Brian Schneider, the defensive and special teams coordinator, respectively, they've sucked ass all year. This was just the final showcase of them and their suckage. And Kyle Shanahan needs to leave their asses in Arizona. Like, for the love of God, please leave their butts in Arizona and replace their asses with better candidates, or better quality people in the offseason. If Kyle doesn't do that, if he somehow, for whatever reason, keeps them next year, then he needs to go too. Like, I kid you not. Like, especially in an important offseason, like, if he keeps them around, then he needs to go. And then Kyler Murray on the offense, looking at it from Arizona's perspective, they played just as expected against a beat-up team like the 49ers, but at least they had a somewhat strong finish to the season. So when you look at this season for the 49ers, looking at it very briefly, in a nutshell, in my opinion, it was doomed as soon as the Niners lost to the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. Almost 1 year ago next month. How many times have I said all season long, the failure to finish the story? The failure to finish the story in Las Vegas. Like last February was a prime opportunity for the 49ers to finally get title number 6. Finally finish their story. Like, it was right for the taking for them. Yet, they couldn't. They absolutely couldn't. For multiple reasons or another, they didn't pounce on it. And look what it led to this season. One too many events, injuries, blown leads, utter stupidity that happened with this team, and they crumbled under all of it. And like I said at the beginning of this recap, it crumbled in one giant ball in the desert on a desert hill, and it rolled down slowly but surely, and it crushed the 49ers, whatever was left of it at least. So I'm just hoping going into a long offseason after 3 straight NFC title games and a Super Bowl trip, and that's the one positive thing about the Niners season ending this early this year. They have a long offseason, so they have over like a month plus compared to last year. It was like much less than that. They have an extended offseason now to refresh and collect their minds, and hopefully, especially Kyle, it allows himself to recollect himself and make some proper decisions for once. And boy, not just him, but he's gonna have to have it'll be a look in the mirror on what those important decisions will be, because there's gonna be a lot of them in the coming days, weeks, and months to come for the San Francisco 49ers if they want to finally finish the story for title number 6. So, yeah, the Niners lose to the Cardinals 47-26, pretty much an emphatic way to finish the season for San Francisco. Pretty much like the way that, honestly, I expected them to finish the season in Arizona. Like, what more did you expect, really? So, we're not done talking about the 49ers. We still have one more thing to talk about in regards to the 2024 season, and that is the season recap. The dedicated season recap on the Very Cold Lasagna podcast. We'll be talking about what absolutely went wrong with this team, the positives about this team, what they need to do in the offseason, and yeah, so much to cover in the season recap for my San Francisco 49ers and what was an absolute hellhole of a 2024 season. And boy, there's gonna be a lot to cover in that episode. And of course, I'm not gonna be able to cover all of it because I might miss some things, and I know people will roast me for that, but who cares? It's my podcast, it's my episode, and if I miss some details, then that's on me. All right, but I just want to say, for all the games that I covered this year, for all the people that have joined me along, the very small people that joined me along in this journey, and the new people that came along too, I just want to say thank you for joining me along this ride, covering my San Francisco 49ers, and of course, all the things in relation to Very Cold Lasagna. And we'll continue along in the year 2025. But for now, this is Dylan Lasagna signing out, keeping the lasagna very cold in the fridge with your takes on the world of sports. We'll be talking about the San Francisco 49ers in the 2024 in one last episode of the Very Cold Lasagna podcast in relation to them, not the Very Cold Lasagna podcast itself, in relation to them, again, about their season, their off season coming up, and so much more. That'll be coming up, I'd say relatively soon. I just got to put some more details in it. And yeah, we'll put a bow on their, we'll put a true bow on the 2024 season. And yeah, we'll be done with the 49ers 2024 season. Just like that. But until then, again, keep that lasagna very cold in the fridge with your cold and hot takes on the world of sports. And until I see you, when I see you in the next one, peace out.